Keep in mind that these racists change my voice and my speech patterns because they have conceded a million times over that their genetic stock is inferior, and it's caused them to be too immature and to refuse to accept my arguments of virtue, universal pinpoint and moral precision, focus, moral intensity, righteousness, and justice. So this is page 1 of my little over 4-page book. I'm going to post it on both my channels if I remember. Page 1 is the essential alpha essence to sense the presence of God, not childishness and conformity. That brain function does not sense the presence of God. Okay, these people don't even have the sense to try to be men because their brain function is so poor. And so they think the answer is to sabotage me, fume me, poison me, and then say, what about now? And they're that immature. That's why it's called Babylon, Babylon. But this is not the Bible. I tell you right now, I despise the Bible. I'm 100% against the idea that the Bible is quote unquote infallible. Okay? The truths that I give you, they come from God in reality, in my book, are infallible. You'll see what I mean. So one needs the essential alpha essence to sense the presence of God. It's the name of the first page. So I named every page except for, after we get past page 4, it's just a little bit over page 4, there's another page. Okay. Even before the Enlightenment era, scientists have conspired to cheat the Royal African Falcon top martial arts order for the governing class. Now these are characteristics. Just like God has characteristics, all-knowing, all-good, all-powerful, almighty. Okay. The God of justice, right? Morally precise justice, righteousness. Okay, the characteristics of the Royal African Falcon top martial arts order has to do with ability and agility. Okay, speed. Okay, a combination of martial art traits, faster and master. Right, martial, marital. Right, martial is marital scrambled, and the bridegroom. Okay, so they've conspired to cover this up for their stupid theater arts, their stupid stupidity, their Western science, and of course the whole world helps them. And they cheat people for their own reason, and they're quite often controlled by groups like the Freemasons and the military-industrial complex and the various globalist groups that are centered in the West. Okay. The cross is said to symbolize the crossroads. It also symbolizes the feminine suffix. The T is the feminine suffix, right? It's gay people who want to mix in the female traits of not manning up and doing the right thing, right? And virtue means man, so they focus on materialism and things that females do, and they wear aprons and makeup and put red on their lips, and they try to add red to my lips in my videos, and they basically do because they control YouTube, and they change my voice to make it sound like I talk like a gay person or something, because they're focused on feminine activity. How would a little girl throwing a fit respond, or someone on their first period, what have you. All right. The malnutrition Jesus is a symbol of the persecuted top martial artist and anyone who would choose his path. Okay, so they superimposed that white Jesus on the idea. This is what mockers do, clowns, right? They paint their face white, but they're mocking black people, right? So that is a symbol of the persecuted top martial artist and anyone who would choose his path. Scientists basically never have a good martial sense for the spirit, and they rely on logic within the boundaries of white supremacy and things of that nature, or things of that nature. I do not know of a single case of them putting God first, and in their own Western culture in the movies, we see people choosing to fight to the death. What are the implications of that? The essential alpha essence to sense the presence of God is only in the top martial artists, which is me, and those who obey God through me. One can tell by my motives, hearts, goals, intentions, and history that I only intend to do what is right. This is overkill by the obvious fact that I reach out to attractive women with an argument of moral precision, and they do not answer because they are all evil. Yet I try anyway. Drug addicts, rich scum, wife beaters, and all sorts of horrible people get attractive females. So why do they shun me? All this points right to me as God's representative. My top martial arts challenge and the obvious fact that my characteristics include height and intensity before sabotage, etc., made it so the logical assumption to the new guy is that I am the top martial artist ever possible, and anyone with sense knows for sure that I am. Tech breeding, cheating, and generational ill-gotten gain rule out everyone else. How can a scientist, a rocker, a nerd, a jock, a cop, a soldier, a common martial artist, a hippie, or anyone else claim to be God's chosen leader, right? That is outrageous. It is absurd. Even in their Bible in John 10, it is clear that Jesus' argument to the Jews was that he is God's son as he was set apart, right? He's different than all you conformists. People accept the boundaries of Western culture and other cultures of this world, other nations' cultures. In Exodus 15:3, it says, "The Lord is a warrior, the Lord is his name." If scientists have nothing to hide, why do they not tell the truth about this and explain how Baal, Dagon, Zeus, Set, Kali, Apollo, etc., and basically all the main deities that people worship were war gods? And the fact that mythology is full of single combat arguments. They have not even the beginning of a counter argument for that. Obviously, they are just snakes that seek to snake me like everyone else. So as you can see now, to trust science is to use a scientific methodology to see that you can't rely on them for divine leadership, and all cultures that the world allows just lie about the relevance of martial arts and spirituality and religion while they cheat me. Even the word spirit is a play on words for spear it, right? To actually spear something with a spear. We see that Horus has been depicted with a spear, and there are many other images of ideas people worship with spears. There is the spear of destiny, and others that are said to be sacred. Jesus is said to have been speared, and so on, right? After he's on the cross, they stick a spear in him. One becomes less than a ditzy sex worker trying to sell worthless so-called spiritual trinkets when they claim that they are the authority on spiritual matters and that I am not. At this point, even a child should be able to tell you that I am God's representative, and the reason why people shun me, especially attractive women, is that they are childish, shallow, evil, and bred wrong. Bred way wrong. So how great is the gap between me and them? The answer must be that the gap is infinitely great. God is infinitely greater than those going to the dust. And I am God's last King of Kings in the flesh. We also see the phrases good guy and he is better testify that they who are more righteous are above they who are not, in their own language, right? So why do people say he's a good guy or he is better or you're better than that, right? It refers to kind of moral qualities, right? Character, right? Versus being morally bankrupt and being of little moral worth, etc. So moral worth is human worth. Their Bible also says that the one who is from above, the realm of righteousness, is above all. This intro was needed to establish my spiritual authority, my moral, mental, spiritual, and romantic authority, and to make it clear that people are dumb as dogs when they do not obey God through me. I did not come for the dogs or their offspring. What does the sky show us about God? The sun's paths, the animals' paths in nature, cliffs, mountains, beaches, falcons, leopards, rabbits, lions. What do they show us about martial arts and the natural traits in people? Parrots are placed by God to show us that nature is communicating to mankind or trying to communicate. They seek to imitate speech, which is seen as an attempt to communicate to other animals in a specific way. So regardless what the parrot thinks it's doing, God knew what message it would be to the righteous martial artist. Okay. This causes the deep person to see it as evidence of God seeking for people to use their head to see what he is saying. Geese migrate instinctually, which also gives us a clue as to what God is trying to tell us to do. God set me apart to lead that way, and when one considers the deeper implication of the lead hand, quote-unquote lead hand, in sparring, and why people call it the hand of God, that we start to see it come together more. Okay, so again, the lead hand is usually the weapon hand. So your right hand is the lead hand, okay? So you have your sword, your spear, your dagger, your axe, what have you, right? The lead hand, natural combat, right? Sharpened sticks, swords, spears, what have you, okay? Again, spirit and spirit, right? To spear something. God formed eyes and made the sun, moon, and certain private parts resemble them to make it clear to they who are mature enough to learn from the patterns. Maturity is a key martial arts principle, and without it and discipline, one does not get very far. Again, I'm not gay, okay? So what are the exact purpose of the eyes, the nipples, the vagina? Okay, what exact purpose does it serve? How is it similar to the sun and the moon? I'll let you explore that because I don't want to get too much into it. A lot of people think that people shouldn't talk about these things because they're kind of private matters, private parts, what have you. We'll keep going. If you have any questions, we'll put in the comments and we'll explore it. Truly, I despise people who persecute me. Okay, okay. Maturity is a key martial arts principle, and without it and discipline, one does not get very far. Truly, I despise people who persecute me while I am trying to explain this, and scientists in an extreme state of nerdy cowardice do not rally to me, and many of them are rich and have many resources that would have helped me. So as I am interrupted even now, I will again remind you no one is worthy to lead but me, and if one does not want to burn in hell with their offspring in the afterlife, then they must obey before I die. This is justice. I do not believe anyone will obey God through me, even though they have no viable counterargument. And this was written a while back, and they still haven't obeyed. People are evil and radically selfish. No belief in God is needed to rally and obey the principles of morality through me. Just being a decent human with a basic understanding of morality or better. That's key here. Write this down. Okay? No belief in God is needed to rally and obey the principles of morality through me. Just being a decent human with a basic understanding of morality or better. That is all that is needed. Truly, the scientists cannot claim that nature puts them above everyone else, nor can the spoiled governing class. Only I can. And only I can claim to be the top martial arts ever possible due to tech, breeding, cheating, generational ill-gotten gains. Thank you.